At the very beginning of the movie, we are dropped into Seoul, South Korea, in the middle of the night. The city is quiet. A little girl wanders alone through a park, searching for a lost doll. And then out of nowhere, a colossal creature materializes between the buildings. It's enormous, terrifying, and gone almost as quickly as it appeared. The little girl screams. The screen cuts to black, and just like that, the movie has already planted a seed of dread deep in your chest. You don't know what just happened, you don't know why, but you know it matters. Now the film jumps forward 25 years, and we are introduced to Gloria, played brilliantly by Anne Hathaway, a woman whose life has quietly collapsed around her. We find her stumbling home in New York City in the early hours of the morning, reeking of last night's bad decisions. Waiting for her at home is her boyfriend Tim, who has clearly reached the end of his rope. The apartment is tidy, her bags are already packed, and Tim delivers the kind of calm, devastating speech that only comes from someone who has been emotionally exhausted for far too long. He tells her she's out of control, he tells her she needs to leave, and then he walks out. Just like that, Gloria is standing in the wreckage of her own life. No job, no apartment, no relationship, nothing. With nowhere else to go, Gloria does what people do. When everything falls apart, she retreats. She heads back to her small hometown, moving into her childhood home, which has been sitting empty for years. There's no furniture, no warmth, just bare floors and the echo of a life she left behind. She drags an air mattress across town just to have something to sleep on. It's a quietly devastating image, this woman, once in the big city chasing something, now reduced to starting completely from scratch in the town. She couldn't wait to escape. But then something unexpected happens. A pickup truck slows down beside her, and out steps Oscar, an old acquaintance from childhood, all warm smiles and easy comfort. He's inherited his father's bar, and is clearly one of those people who never quite left, who built his whole life around the town and the people in it. He offers Gloria company, then a job, then a place to belong, and Gloria, desperate and grateful, accepts all of it. That first night at Oscar's bar, she agonizes over whether to drink. She's been trying to cut back, but within minutes, she's a few beers deep and laughing with his friends Gar and Joel like she never left. Old habits, it turns out, are the hardest thing to leave behind. Now here's where things start to get strange. The next morning, news breaks that Seoul, South Korea, was attacked in the night by a massive, unidentified creature. Footage is everywhere, grainy, chaotic, terrifying. The monster appeared for a few minutes and then simply vanished. Nobody knows what it was. Nobody knows where it came from. Gloria watches the footage on her laptop with mild curiosity, the way most of us would watch a bizarre news story that has nothing to do with us. She's more embarrassed that she missed the news entirely because she was out drinking all night. Tim calls, figures this out immediately, and pleads with her to get help. She brushes him off. But then, and this is where the film starts to turn, Gloria notices something small, something that shouldn't mean anything but somehow means everything. The monster on the footage appears to be scratching the top of its head, and Gloria does the exact same thing when she's nervous. It's her nervous tick. She mentioned it to Oscar just the night before. A coincidence, surely, right? Wrong, because Gloria's mind is already working, pulling at that thread. She starts rewatching the footage over and over, and piece by piece, the evidence mounts. The monster appeared at a specific time, 5 inches the morning. It moved through a part of Seoul that, when compared to a map, lines up suspiciously well with the layout of her town. And then there was that first sighting, 25 years ago, where the creature appeared to be dragging something heavy over one shoulder, just like Gloria had done when she hauled her air mattress across town the night before. She can't sleep. She can't shake it. And so, entirely sober for once, she walks to the old elementary school playground in her town, positions herself inside it, and waits. At exactly 5 inches the morning, she raises both arms above her head, then runs home and immediately turns on the television. And there it is, in Seoul. A monster, enormous and impossible, standing in the middle of a neighborhood and raising both arms above its head, exactly as Gloria did, exactly at the same time. She is the monster. Somehow, impossibly, when she steps into that playground at 8:05 a.m., her movements are being mirrored by a giant creature on the other side of the world. And every stumbling, drunk, careless thing she has done while passing through that spot on her way home at night has been playing out in real time, at massive scale, in a city full of people. The weight of this revelation is staggering, and the film takes a moment to really let it land, because Gloria doesn't panic and call the government. She doesn't go to the authorities. Instead, she does what most of us would probably do if we discovered something this insane, she tells her friends at the bar. She drags them all down to the playground with a live stream of Seoul pulled up on a phone, steps inside, and starts to dance. And sure enough, the monster dances in Seoul. Oscar and Gar and Joel watch in stunned, disbelieving laughter. It's absurd. It's hilarious. It feels almost playful. Until it isn't. Because drunk Gloria, giddy with the discovery, throws a punch at the air. And in Seoul, that punch connects with a military helicopter that's been circling the monster. The helicopter explodes. People die. And just like that, the laughter dies too. Gloria collapses to the ground, horrified. She wakes up the next morning in her house, feeling the full weight of what she's done. But here's the twist that changes everything. When Oscar had stepped into the playground to help her, his presence there created a second monster, a giant robot that also appeared in Seoul. So it isn't just Gloria, the playground affects both of them. Any person who steps into that specific spot at 8:05 a.m. becomes a monster on the other side of the world. The question is, what kind of monster do you choose to be? Over breakfast at a local diner, the two of them piece together the origin of all this. Gloria starts remembering fragments of a day from her childhood, a school project she was carrying, a gust of wind that sent it flying, and a younger Oscar chasing after it into a construction site where the playground now stands. She remembers following him, and then lightning, a freak bolt that struck them both and knocked them unconscious. That sight, that moment, that specific location, it created a connection between their bodies and the city of Seoul that has existed, dormant, for 25 years. In the days that follow, Gloria makes a genuine effort to do better. She even bends down in the playground and uses her finger to write a message in Korean on the ground, which the monster replicates for the entire city of Seoul to see an apology, a promise that this is over, that they won't come back. It's a beautiful, absurd, unexpectedly moving moment. But here's where the movie takes its darkest turn. Because Oscar-friendly, warm, generous Oscar is not who he appears to be. As Gloria's life begins to stabilize, as she gets a little sober, makes a connection with Joel, starts reclaiming herself, Oscar begins to unravel. And what unravels is ugly. He is a man who never left his hometown, who watched Gloria go off to a bigger life and quietly seethed about it for 25 years. Every kindness he showed her was laced with ownership. Every generous gesture came with an invisible price tag. And now that she's happy, or trying to be, he can't stand it. He starts showing up to the playground drunk and deliberately letting his robot rampage through Seoul's business district. Then he begins using the threat of that destruction as a weapon against Gloria, directly telling her that if she doesn't show up to work, he'll level a neighborhood. If she doesn't drink with him, he'll walk to the playground. He lights a massive firecracker inside the bar to demonstrate to her boyfriend Tim that he doesn't care about consequences, and that Gloria, whether she likes it or not, is stuck. He shows up at her house at night to make sure she doesn't leave town. He is, in every sense of the word, a monster long before he ever steps into that playground. This is the point in the film where you realize the monster was never really the creature in Seoul. The monster has been standing in front of Gloria this whole time, offering her a beer and calling it friendship. Gloria's memory keeps returning to that day in the construction site, and eventually she remembers the final piece, the thing Oscar did when he thought nobody was watching. After he retrieved her school project from the branches where it was caught, he looked around, confirmed he was alone, and crushed it. He destroyed it deliberately. He has always been this way. The resentment, the control, the cruelty dressed up as kindness, it didn't start when Gloria came back to town. It started when they were children, and she was already better than him at the one thing he wanted to be good at. With Oscar effectively holding the city of Seoul hostage, and Gloria trapped by the threat of mass casualties, she has to think. And the answer, when it comes, is elegant in its simplicity. She looks at the upside-down map on her wall and understands. If she steps into the playground, a monster appears in Seoul. So what happens if she goes to Seoul? She packs a bag, she calls a cab, she goes to the airport, she flies to South Korea. And when 8-5 arrives and Oscar steps onto that playground back home, drunk and furious at her absence, the robot begins its rampage in Seoul, but Gloria is there, walking toward it. And because she is in Seoul, that means her monster has appeared somewhere else, back home, right in front of Oscar. A colossal creature materializing out of thin air, directly above the man who thought he had all the power. He runs, but Gloria steps forward and reaches toward the robot, and the monster picks him up, and throws it. The robot crashes down thousands of feet away. And in the playground back home, Oscar's body is hurled through the air by invisible, unstoppable hands. It's over. The people of Seoul watch their destroyer get destroyed. They celebrate in the streets, and Gloria steps into a small Korean bar, sits down, and tells the bartender she has a story to tell. The screen fades, and somehow, after everything, the wreckage, the carnage, the fear, it ends on something that feels like the beginning of something new. Here's what makes Colossal so genuinely brilliant. The monster is never really a monster movie. It's a film about how people use care and generosity as tools of control. About how someone can hand you a beer every night, give you a job, furnish your house, and still be the most dangerous person in your life. Oscar isn't scary because of what he can do in Seoul. He's scary because he's so recognizable, that guy who does nice things so you'll owe him, who supports you only as long as you stay small enough for him to feel big. The creature in South Korea is just the metaphor made literal. And Gloria's journey isn't about fighting a monster, it's about learning to stop being afraid of one. About realizing that the thing you thought was protecting you has actually been trapping you all along, and choosing, finally, to fly to the other side of the world if that's what it takes to be free. If this breakdown blew your mind even a little bit, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I mean it. If you've been lurking on this channel, watching videos without subscribing, today is the day you fix that. We pour everything into these breakdowns, and every subscriber genuinely keeps this channel alive. Hit subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a video, and then drop a comment down below telling me, did you see Oscar's true nature coming, or did the film completely fool you? Because the first time I watched this, I thought he was just a good guy, and that, honestly, is the scariest thing about the whole movie.